Welcome to another installment of Sweet and Salty.
Today we will probably be finishing Crimson Gray. I can't imagine we have much more left.
I don't know. The little thing said 20% when I was loading it from Steam, so who knows?
Those achievements we've got.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Alright, when we last left, Lizzie had tied us in her basement. Chained us, technically. But whatevs.
Yep.
Alright, so let's just jump into it.
Alright, so he wasn't sure how long the release of emotion continued, but when it was over, John felt as though his mind had been purged. His current situation might be pretty bad, but he still had options. He could figure out something, assuming he figured out what he even wanted to do. The sane thing to do would be to find a way to escape, contact the police, or maybe it would be safer to convince Lizzie to calm down, take more medication, not hurt him. John, we're gonna have ever so much time together. Aren't you excited? He needed to say something, turn the situation around, but it was just so hard to focus. Before I got to know you, I thought this would be the easy part.
So she's been planning this from the beginning?
Apparently, this is all premeditated. I thought I understood how people work. Some things never made sense to me, but others are so simple. Lizzie walked up to one of the walls and began running her fingers over the tools there. She picked up a knife and caressed the edge, partially turned away from him. I thought once I found you, I could make you mine, and then I would feel whole. But you see, I underestimated just how much you would change me. I'm so much happier, and everything is so much more complicated. She walked toward him, wearing a soft, loving expression, but still holding the knife. John froze and held his breath as she walked behind him. I want all of you, John, even the parts I didn't know existed before. If I hurt you, I would never really have what I want. The knife slid past his face, but only as Lizzie moved to embrace him. She wrapped her arms around his neck and pressed herself against his back, inhaling deeply. I love you so much, I wouldn't be satisfied with just a shell of you.
Yeah, just got the crazy accent.
Yeah. Without warning, she pulled back. The adoration in her expression was gone, replaced with an empty gaze fixated on him. But that makes this so much harder. What
What are you going to do to me?
I don't know. I wish I knew. I took time to think, but it didn't help. Oh, shit.
Yeah, charm her. I feel begging for release is a bad choice.
Yeah, that's probably not the best idea. So, do we reason, or do we just play into her delusion?
Charm her.
Okay.
I'm a D&D nerd, just charm person.
There
That's
you
obviously
go.
the answer.
Yes, we're the bard.
Lizzie, weren't we having a good time earlier? Getting together, getting closer together?
Yes, it was wonderful.
We can go on another date. Just let me out. We can keep going the way we were before.
Ah.
Oh, blush.
But I need more than that. I need to help you. He didn't want to push too hard, but he thought he got through to her a little. If he kept appealing to her romantic side, maybe he could get out of this. Lizzie paced around the room for a while, muttering under her breath, then suddenly straightened. Throwing aside the knife, it embedded itself in the wall. She went to a closet, and after a few seconds of searching, emerged with a chain. Yes, this will be better. I'm sorry, John. I should have thought of this earlier. She clamped one end around his ankle, then lifted a table at one end of the room and latched the other side of the chain there.
How strong is this girl?
No kidding. Plucking the knife back out of the wall, Lizzie cut through John's bonds with troubling speed, smiling all the while. See? You don't have to be tied up. Here, use this table. I'll bring you whatever you need.
Besides freedom.
Yeah. Lizzie swept all the objects from the table like they were so much trash, then frowned down at the empty space. But you didn't bring your books because of the date. Is there anything you want me to bring for you?
So she's gonna break into his house to get
Yeah.
his stuff?
Apparently, she's just gonna, yeah, no, it's no problem. I'll go get your books.
Yeah.
He stared at her, still not entirely sure how to deal with this change. Licking his lips, John spoke before he could fully think through his words.
Can I have some water?
Ah, of course, yes, water, and you slept a long time. You'll probably be hungry soon. Just wait here. Like we had a choice. While she was gone, he did his best just to rub some feeling back into his wrists and look around the room. The chain attaching him to the table leg was fairly long. He thought he could reach most of the basement except the far end of the door to the top of the stairs. Not that he could try anything when she was nearby and could return at any moment. He did try to lift the table, though, see if he could slip the chain out from under the leg, and couldn't even budge it. What the hell? Was there some trick to it, or was she just that strong? John had thought it might have been his imagination, or she was just fueled by passion, but to move the table as easily as she had, that shouldn't have been possible. There wasn't time for anything else before Lizzie returned, bearing kitchen supplies.
And another knife.
Yeah. Just wait a moment, I'll make you something, and we can be together while I make it. Isn't that wonderful? Not waiting for an answer, she laid out her ingredients on one of the side tables, then set up a chopping board. She began reducing vegetables to little chunks with terrifying ease, knife a silver blur in her hands. I know just what I want to cook today, but you can ask for whatever you want later, okay? I'll make you anything you like.
Thank you?
This is all I want, John. A peaceful life at home. You can stay inside. Ignore everyone who wants to hurt you. I'll keep you safe. Bring you whatever you need. Take good care of you.
And never go outside.
Of course you could go outside if you wanted to, but right now, I'm just afraid.
I feel I should have every right to be afraid.
Right? She's fucking terrifying, and she's blushing right now, too. That's a little odd.
She's just overwhelmed with emotion. She can't hide it.
Apparently. Her movements became more erratic, and John saw several chips of wood fly away from the cutting board. Lizzie was still smiling sweetly. Don't you want that, too? To be able to just stay inside on bad days and ignore the world?
Not with you.
That did sound good to him, but when he shifted his legs, he heard the chain clinking along the floor, and whatever he had been meaning to say evaporated out of his mind. As absurd as it was, the day continued almost normally. Lizzie made him an elaborate meal, and they ended up chatting over it as if everything was normal.
As normal as being chained to a desk.
Yeah, absolutely perfect. It felt wrong to do so, but he worried that doing anything else would just antagonize her. Did she really think this would work in the end?
Obviously, or she wouldn't have done it.
Yeah. Honestly, he had no idea, and did she really need to do so much cutting for every single dish? Yeah, he's more broken than we thought if he's starting to... What do they call that when you fall in love with your captor?
Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah.
Also, she has to cut so much for every single dish because it's a scare tactic, John.
Yeah.
Scare tactic.
Yeah, John, you dumb.
Just think these carrots could be your fingers, John, if you don't play your cards right.
Right? When they had finished and chatted for a while, Lizzie abruptly hopped back to her feet. Okay, just a moment, John. I'm going to get your books, okay? I don't want you to be angry with me for making you fall behind on your homework. Is there anything else you want me to get from your house? Well, just let me know if you need anything, all right? Yeah. She skipped away, and he heard the door above him close. He wondered if it could be a trick somehow, but after enough silence passed, he felt reasonably certain that she had actually gone to his house. Though she could have taken his key, he saw it still resting on the far table with the other things he'd been carrying. Had she made a copy at some point, or could she just pick the lock?
Oh, she had a copy like 4 months ago.
Yeah,
John.
no, she had a copy a while back, brother. Neither possibility was exactly comforting, but he didn't have time for that. John got to his feet, stretched, and considered his options. Oh, shit. Make something for Lizzie?
Yeah, sure.
I
feel anything else is going to provoke her.
Yeah, pretty much.
Scared.
Just getting a weapon and with her lifting up the table like it was nothing.
And she came after us with an axe.
Yeah. She's obviously much more well-prepared than we are.
Yeah.
Deciding his best bet was to try to encourage Lizzie's good nature, John set to working with the kitchen supplies she'd left nearby him. His options without a stove were limited, but he did his best to make her something that looked like real effort had been put into it. He was no chef, but he thought she would like anything he made with his own hands. Strangely, the act of making something for her helped him forget about the fact that he was chained in her basement. The situation might be messed up, but perhaps there was a core of something salvageable. Dude, no. Just no. When Lizzie saw his gift, she blushed, then took it away hurriedly. John blinked, but didn't have time to object. The next time he saw her, though, she was beaming. Though John spent all of Saturday tense, Lizzie showed no sign of intending to hurt him. That night she brought a mattress and bedding down to the basement and set it up close enough that he could lie down on it. When he woke up on Sunday, he felt strangely normal. Still tense, the situation was far from ordinary, but in a strange way he had learned to deal with it. That day passed almost normally. Since Lizzie had brought him his books, he tried to work through his homework, just like he often did on a Sunday. Lizzie stayed with him most of the day working as well. She made meals for them both in the basement and upstairs, but she always stayed close. He hoped for a chance to evaluate his options more, but never spotted one, since she was always leaning in to smile at him from the stairwell. The only useful thing he learned was that the basement door was apparently locked, except at night.
Unlocked.
Oh, unlocked. Oh, shit. If he could somehow get unchained from the table, he had a shot at getting out. He doesn't seem like he wants to get out all that bad anymore.
No.
He's like, meh, at least it's a girl. When Monday dawned, he crashed almost immediately and didn't even get out of bed. That was common for vacations when he didn't have friends to distract him, since all he could do was wallow in himself. And Kitty likes to meow in the microphone. It felt worse than usual. His world wasn't just gray. His depression was filled with flecks of anger and confusion. Only then did he realize that he hadn't taken any medication since Friday morning. When Lizzie entered that morning, she immediately saw how badly he was doing and rushed to the mattress, at first fussing with the sheets before realizing the problem went deeper than that. "John, what's wrong?"
Other than you keeping me in here?
"No, I'm sorry. No, if I let you go, you'll just hate me. It will ruin everything."
Then at least bring me my Paxtane. It's in the shelf above the sink to the...
"No! I won't bring it to you. I can't. I destroyed it."
The fuck, bitch?
Yeah.
What? But I need that. You understand how serious my condition is, right?
"I know, I really do, but you shouldn't take their drugs, not theirs."
But...
"You were taking something before Paxatine, right? Tell me what it was, I'll go get some for you. I want you to get better, John, but I won't let you take anything from Koitek." Oh.
I guess request old medication?
Yeah, that's probably our best bet, because at least then we're getting something.
This kid obviously needs his meds.
Yeah, needs some kind of meds. Thinking back, John tried to remember the medications that had seemed to do some good. Maybe they weren't as good as Paxatine, but they would be better than nothing. "Okay, just wait right here." Apparently, just remembering all the chemical names he'd listed, Lizzie hopped up the stairs and practically slammed the door in her hurry on her way out. Abruptly alone, John realized that he had another chance to act. Oh, shit. Are we just going to go with the whole Stockholm Syndrome?
I don't... The thing is, like, is the good ending, like, getting out and being okay? Or is it living this weird life with her? I mean, it worked in Disney movies.
Yeah, right.
Is she gonna give us a library?
Yep, I bet she will. She offered us anything we wanted.
I just don't try any... I don't...
That's kind of what I'm banking on.
Look
for tools? Okay.
Look for tools.
His table had been placed to be out of the reach of the weapons lining one wall, but that put him close to the other wall. John managed to get around the table to it and began examining them. There was a metal cupboard and appeared to be locked, but he looked through the rest. There was a toolbox that he thought was locked at first, but eventually he realized was only stuck. After enough effort, he got it open and looked through. Most of it was random aging tools, but he found a screwdriver that looked to be in good shape. Could he use this to escape? He saw several possibilities, but at that moment he heard Lizzie return. It was too late. Eventually, Lizzie returned bearing a large white sack. She triumphantly emptied it out on the table, dumping an entire pile, a whole pile of pills in front of him.
Jesus.
She'd gotten every drug he'd mentioned, even the prescription ones. He hated to think about the nasty consequences if she tried to give him all of these at once.
I mean, it might be easier.
Yeah, it might be the easy way out. But instead, Lizzie just brought him a glass of water and set it down beside the pile. Take anything you need to get better, okay? I'll just leave these here, but you can ask for more water whenever you want.
Thank you? Question mark.
Of course, John. I'm doing all this because I want you to get better.
What about you?
Maybe you should be on half of these. He felt like telling her that being held against his will wouldn't help. No, you think? But her expression looked so sincere that he couldn't bring himself to say it. See? Stockholm motherfucking syndrome. All the way down. How had she gotten prescription medications anyway? He found the one that he had been most satisfied with just before Mrs. Smythe switched him to Paxatine and took his first dose. Lizzie smiled brightly, then skipped back up the stairs.
La, 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 la.
After lunch on Tuesday, Lizzie started carrying electronics down the stairs. He blinked in confusion until she brought down the TV and started hooking everything together. Or at least attempting to. After a moment, she sighed and looked at him sheepishly. Do you know how this works?
I can try to figure it out.
He got up and did his best to help. She had a pretty nice VCR, leading him to wonder why she had it and didn't know how to put it together. It wasn't like someone else would have bought it for her.
What
just
century are we in?
Yeah, just so all of you know, a VCR is video cassette recorder. Like you see in the old movies where they had the big rectangles. Yeah, that old school. I don't know why a new game is talking about VCRs and shit.
She ghetto.
Yeah, apparently she po.
Do you not use this much?
Never. I don't really watch television.
Like at all?
No.
What do you do with your time?
Yeah. She had seemed weirdly
Besides stalk
apathetic.
me.
Yeah,
That's what
she doesn't
She
have
stalks
time.
boys.
Yeah, she doesn't have any time because
Just
she's
kidding.
following John around, and she might glimpse some TV when he's watching it, but that's it. Good God. She had seemed weirdly apathetic about a lot of things, but he thought she just wasn't into pop culture. Yet now, something in her voice made him suspect it wasn't something else entirely. Or it was something else entirely.
What about music then?
I don't listen to music.
Huh? Really? Well, what about books?
Only nonfiction that seems useful. The rest all feel so pointless.
What do you do for fun then?
She stared back at him so long, he was afraid she might just ignore the question.
Well, sorry I asked.
I do enjoy a few things now, thanks to you. I spent a lot of time collecting all those knives because I thought they would be useful. But now it's a little different. Now I can imagine myself protecting you. All the details about grips, edges, they're not just details now, they interest me. So he'd given her an interest in knives. Fantastic. Anyway, I thought maybe I could enjoy a movie if I watched it with you. Is that okay?
We might as well try. I've had it all put together for a while anyway. We can try it.
Lizzie brought a chair and sat beside him as they watched the tape. He was grateful that she at least watched the movie instead of him.
Breakthrough!
Yay! It was nothing at all like how watching a film with a girl was supposed to be, according to his friends. Lizzie didn't seem remotely nervous during the scary parts, and to his surprise, didn't seem to care about the romantic parts. Then again, he didn't think he really would want to react that way. It definitely wouldn't feel like who she was. To his surprise, John found himself enjoying it too. Maybe his old meds were doing their job better than he thought. When it finally ended, Lizzie gave a small smile that he thought represented authentic satisfaction. Then she immediately turned to him. We should watch something together again, but I think I'd rather make our own movie. Oh. A little young for that? Yeah. His mind immediately flashed to making porn together, and he had to force the thought away.
What kind of movie?
I would like to just film you. Here, working, or eating, or anything. I could watch it later.
I mean, everyone has their kinks.
Yeah, no kink shaming here.
But before we continue with this, I think it's a good place to stop it. Probably. Yeah.
So tune in next time to find out what kind of movie John and Psycho are gonna make.
Psycho.
Reet.
Bye, guys.
Bye.